It's a beautiful day on this hollow earth. A beautiful day for a hybrid. Do they shift shape? Boy, I feel great. Won't you be my cousin? Good morning, everybody. And welcome to another Shrimp for Breakfast AMA. Post those questions in the comments on the YouTube channel. Like it, subscribe to it so you don't miss any, and share it with your creative cousins all around this hollow globe. We are spreading these good vibes. We are transmitting the gospel of the creative gods every morning right here leading up to the Grammys. We're counting down to the Grammys, y'all. Your boy is headed out there. Of course, trying to take home that Best Packaging Grammy Award for the Gravity Falls double vinyl soundtrack that we did with I Am 8-Bit. And right now, I am once again flexing a Grammy outfit. Here we go, the tracksuit. We got 3 different outfits. Look at this. Look at this in all its glory. Bam. Bam. Oh, and you know we got these pants rocking. Look at that shit. Bam. Look at that. Look at that bow tie up in your face. Look at this. Woo! We got them crispy Giannis Nikes going with it. Oh my God. We're gonna do a full head to toe photo shoot, fit check. And yes, we will be making these outfits available, super limited edition, as we get closer to the Grammys, y'all. Now, the versions that we're gonna sell, this one will be just like this. The ones that say raw, I've changed to say draw. Right? Getting that message out there for people to get up and draw and get into that visual art lifestyle. You don't even have to be a professional, y'all. Everybody can draw. Kids draw for God's sake, for the creative God's sake. Children be doing some of the wildest, most creative drawings you've ever seen. Maybe you even did some when you were a child. And ask yourself, why did you stop? It's never a bad time to do a sick fucking drawing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, feeling good on this. What is it? Wednesday morning. Breakfast with shrimp. Shrimp for breakfast. No better way to start the day. This is the most important meal of the day, y'all. We got our greens. You know, you got to get them greens in. And you know, we got that black hot coffee. Woo! Going straight to the dome. As we get closer and closer to the Grammys, your boy is getting more and more hyped. And as always, this video is brought to you by me. So I'm going to take this time to promote my upcoming adult coloring book, The Lost Forest, coming out from Penguin Random House, the largest book publisher in the world. Now, this is just a dummy book, but in March, we're going to have the real thing. And you can see what the inside looks like on my website, ghostshrimpglobal.com, along with all the links to pre-order, coming out on 4/16 so that it's in your hands by 4/20. And we can all have a little coloring jamboree together. 55 brand new pieces, pure ghost shrimp mythology, right? Yesterday we were talking about the monk's cave, what was in my backyard, this prehistoric, this indigenous burial chamber that I grew up with in my backyard in Western Massachusetts is right on the cover. We supercharging this with ghost shrimp personal mythology, y'all. I don't settle for anything less. Come on, you know me. You know me. Oh, yeah. And we got We got this bad boy inside. Oh, shit. Look at that. Bam, representing to the fullest. We got layers and layers of ghost shrimp goodness for ya. All right, we got some more questions on this YouTube. At Bierciez at Bierciez how do you decide what's worth drawing and what's not? How do you stop overthinking about it? Wow, great question. How do I decide what's worth drawing or not? I mean, my kids are always like, Dad, what do I draw? And I go, draw what you want to draw the most, right? Just sit down, get out your sketchbook, and start going, right? Get the top of mind stuff out, get whatever's, just kind of floating around out, and then dig a little deeper and dig a little deeper and dig a little deeper and see what you find, right? I'm not trying to think about it really at all. My goal is to put myself in a creative flow state. I mean, my goal is to exist in a creative flow state, to stay in a creative flow state, and to be an antenna receiving and transmitting inspiration from the creative gods, right? So I don't want my conscious mind to try to think up some dumb shit, I want that divine inspiration coming from above, coming from below. Do you hear me from that hollow earth? Echo, echo, echo in that hollow earth, y'all. And I want to turn my brain off. I want my subconscious, that deep creative mythology, as we're talking about going deep down inside the depths, right, of your dream world. You want to get deep into that subconscious. And you do that by turning off your conscious brain, right? I listen to podcasts. I fucking smoke till I can't have divergent, till I can't have convergent thoughts anymore. Convergent thinking is like A to B to C to D, and divergent thinking is like X to Y to 3 to 1 to 420 to 69 to 247, right? Making those unorthodox connections, making those unique combinations. I really don't want to think at all. My conscious mind will do nothing but get in the way when I'm creating. So I want to remove that from the equation as much as possible. That's why when I talk about working on Adventure Time, I didn't work in the office, because if I'm in a busy environment, right? This is another like ADHD thing. If I'm in this hustle and bustle busy environment, that's gonna ignite my conscious brain and make me like, what's going on? Oh, let's have some fun. Let's talk. Let's do this. Blah, 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 blah. I'll be so distracted. I need to lose all that. I need to leave that on the surface, floating on the surface of the water, and I need to go to the bottom of the motherfucking ocean where the shrimp live. You know what I'm saying? The bottom feeders scavenging for those fucking lost treasures buried for fucking thousands and millions and billions of years down there, right? The lost city of Shrimplantis. That's what I'm always looking for. I'm always excavating, long buried ruins, right? People in my workshop often hear me talking about being like an archaeologist, where I'm digging, looking. Ooh, finding a bone over here, finding a coin over here, finding a pottery shard over here, and then, oh my God, we just uncovered the tip of a pyramid, and we're digging and we're uncovering this pyramid, and oh my God, Göbekli Tepe, right? You want to be discovering ancient civilizations that are lost within you. You have an entire, as we talked about, dream landscape, DNA history, shared consciousness with all humans that have ever existed and will ever exist. That's what you want to tap into. And then don't overthink it. Is the same thing. Get your conscious mind out of the way. Conscious mind is like not good for much, right? It's good for like, saying stupid stuff and annoying people and all that stuff. The conscious mind is like trying to keep you alive. It's like looking for danger. It's self-preservation. It's on that selfish, self-centered vibe. You want to get down to that communal consciousness, deep, and just let it go. And that's why the weed helps, right? If you smoke enough weed, you can't even write an email, right? That's removing that convergent thinking from the equation. You want to diverge. You want to spread out. You want to be exploring. I'll smoke enough till the only possible thing I could do is draw to keep myself from being distracted, right? Have that music on, have that podcast on, have that audiobook on. Get smarter. Listen to some wild, Sean Carroll science podcasts, some Lex Friedman science podcasts, some Last Podcast on the Left, some This Is Important, the Workaholics Guys podcast to crack up and die laughing. Some good old-fashioned Wu-Tang. Some cool Keith. You know what I'm saying? Get funky, get fucking raw with it. Listen to some AWOL 1. Listen to some Dose 1. Right? Yeah, and as I'm drawing, like, I just want to be a spectator. My eyes are just looking at what's happening and reacting. And going like, does that look right? Let me try it a different way. Let me try it a different way. Let me erase this guy, draw him in a different position. Let me erase this guy, draw him over here, draw it over there, interacting with this guy, interacting with it. Different, you're seeing all possible worlds. Talk about a quantum, cloud, right? We are not one being. We are a cloud of all possible versions of ourselves traveling through every version of the universe, every reality at once. Everywhere all at once. And creating drawings is a fractal of that. It's the same thing, right? And those are little clues to how the universe works, right? You are imagining all possible versions of this. You're seeing it. It's being beamed to you, and you are receiving it, and your hand is going. You're in that flow state. And you're reacting. Does this look good? No. Is this right? No. Is this right? And trust your instincts. Trust that intuition. And when you are in there doing it long enough, all of a sudden, oh my God, what? A breakthrough? I didn't expect that. Oh shit, this is the feeling I was looking for. I'm not looking for a certain result. I'm looking for a feeling. I'm looking for a reaction. I'm looking for that moment where I go, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. I'm there to entertain myself because I know if I feel that, then when it goes out into the world, it's gonna do its job. Other people are gonna be like, oh shit, did you look at this? And then they're gonna be like, I gotta do something like that, blah, 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 blah. And then they're gonna go for that break. How did he do that, right? Because I've seen those breakthroughs, the energy captured in other people's artwork and been like, oh my God. And that talks to me, that inspires me. Right? That's the gods tapping on my shoulder going, hey, guess what? Now you're up. It's your turn. You're in the game, right? So you're seeing every version of this creative cloud, and you're traveling through it until you find those amazing discoveries. That is the reason that I do it. I don't do it to make money. I don't do it for other people. I do it to sit there and look for those breakthroughs. It's the greatest feeling in the world. There's no feeling better than that, right? I'm a creative animal in an infinite universe, and that is my deepest purpose, is to look for creative breakthroughs, to forward this technology that is art, that is the AI, that the AI that is human beings. The natural intelligence, right? We are AI. We are the singularity. We are the phenomenon. We are connected to everything that's ever happened and everything that will happen. We're a extremely important piece of the puzzle, and at the same time, an absolutely, completely, on the same level as everything else, completely meaningless part of the puzzle, right? Everything is completely meaningless and infinitely meaningful at the same time. That's the paradox of it all, right? All right, another one from my boy at Karma Void OZ9809. My boy from New Zealand. Shout out, workshop alumni. One of the absolute all-stars, superstars of the workshop. He's a dad. He's got he had a day job at that time, and he threw himself into that workshop like his creative career depended on it, and he absolutely crushed it. Only about a third of the people that do it kind of go through and actually hit every single assignment and just integrate the feedback and step it up every single week, right? It's a challenge to step up to. It's a meaningful challenge, the Ghostshrimp workshop. And afterwards, he got right into doing backgrounds in the animation industry, right? Because he applied himself. He leveled up. He shed the old skin that wasn't ready, and he grew a new skin that was ready. And he went out and he understood that success is a daily practice. It's not a destination. And he's showing up every single day to fucking be a world champion. And if you do that, eventually you will be. I'm proof of that. So his question is, as a traditional ink and paper dude myself, now that I'm working on shows as my main gig, I found 90% of my work being done on the Wacom. How much of your work are you doing digitally nowadays? So, for the last year plus, I've been working fully on the Wacom. On the Cintiq, I got this 24-inch bad boy. And I got a Mac Studio. And I've been loving it. I did, my modus operandi from college, from getting out of school till, a couple years ago was, inking on drawing with pencil on watercolor paper, like a nice 3B, like a nice dark pencil and a gummy eraser. A lot of drawing, a lot of erasing, very slow process, right? Letting it evolve, letting it marinate. I'm not trying to draw something and be like, that's good, right? When you're starting out, you're like, oh, that's good. And then you draw it, and then you're like, oh, you draw it again, you're like, that's good. And then you draw it again, that's good. And then you draw it again, you go, oh, okay, that's good, but I feel like it could be better, but I'm like a little scared to let go of what's good. And then eventually you do that enough where you go, fuck it, I'm just going to erase what's good to see if I can get to what's better. And eventually, by letting go of what's good, you will start to find what's great, right? That's that exploring into the unknown. That's working at the edge of your abilities. A lot of people work within their abilities. They just kind of find a good, zone where they're feeling good and getting some sort of reaction, and they just kind of live there for a long time. I'm talking about always working at the edge of your abilities, always throwing the stone out further into the dark and going to find it, right? Throwing it into the pond and going down into the darkness and feeling around till you find it. That exploration process, because when you do that, all of a sudden, bam, you find some hidden treasure. Bam, you found a skull of fucking an ancient ancestor with a map inside to the greatest weed you've ever smoked. You know what I'm saying? Shoot up! So I would pencil on watercolor paper. I would ink with a brush, dipping it in Higgins Black Magic ink mostly, right? That I would get at the hardware store. Or Michael's fucking arts and crafts store with like a number 1 brush, like a Winsor Newton watercolor brush, like a number 1 brush. Maybe like a little number 3 or whatever for like ink fill. Your boy comes with some heavy blacks, heavy inks. And then I would scan that into in the beginning, the first 10 years was working on a refurbished like 12-inch MacBook. I had like a little scanner, a little Epson scanner, and a little refurbished MacBook, and I would click fill with the mouse. That was like the first 10 years of my career. And then I eventually did get a smaller Cintiq to color on, like, you know, in Vermont. So this is 12 years into the career, after Adventure Time. Never worked on a Cintiq until after Adventure Time. And then I would color on the Cintiq, and I would do little changes, little edits on the Cintiq. Maybe it was even like 14, 15 years into my career. And then working on that a bunch, started to get into the idea, started to do some little character drawings fully on the Cintiq. Then I was like, okay, starting to get some projects that were calling out to me, the Viz Dev, seeing how I could streamline the process. And then, you know, working on this magic puzzle project. I'm working on this giant jigsaw puzzle for the Magic Puzzle Company right now. I've been working on it, had it on my desk for a long time. And it's the largest thing I've ever done. It's the most complicated thing I've ever done. And now it's shifting pieces, right? If you know what a magic puzzle is, they have this great genius idea where they make a large jigsaw puzzle, 1,000-piece puzzle. You build the puzzle, and then it's in 3 sections. It's all fit together snug in the square, but there's seams in it where, in mine, the top half of it slides out into 2 parts. You slide them on the table, and they switch positions, and they slide back together. And because of geometry, clever geometry, much above your boy's pay grade, there is a hole left in the middle of the puzzle, a diamond shape, and you open up another secret package of pieces, and that fills in the middle of the puzzle, and it creates a twist on whatever story was being told, a twist ending to the story of the puzzle. It's fucking genius. Really fun to work on, but all of a sudden I'm working on this really complicated, you know, Where's Waldo, tiny characters, world building, you know, illustration, largest, most complicated, most detailed, and it has parts that have to move. So, you know, they have digital templates for that. Much easier to do that on the Cintiq. I started it on my little Cintiq, and I was like, fuck, man, this is like too much to try to pull off on here. Plus, it was, again, connected to like a refurbished MacBook Pro that I had at that point, and it just didn't have enough computing power to pull this off. So that's when I really upgraded to the Mac Studio and the fucking big Cintiq, right? So, you know, I stubbornly, reluctantly upgraded my setup and got more, you know, technical with it, and I'm loving it. And you know, I'm glad I, you know, have worked analog for so long, and I love that. Right, these originals are fucking amazing and have amazing energy. I love original artifacts. But it's also really fun after doing that for so long, and like, you know, really getting really good at that process, and, you know, challenging myself always. But this is just a fun new challenge. And my favorite part about this is I can pencil and ink and color all at the same time on different layers. It's like, again, it's like collapsing the illusion of time where it's a linear thing. Now, not only can I work in the quantum realm of imagining all the different, you know, getting beamed all the different versions of whatever I'm trying to create, and working through those iterations until I discover these amazing breakthroughs that are going to make up my final piece. The thing that it wants to be, right? I always tell people, listen to the piece. It will tell you what it wants to be. And like, it's funny. I was always like, do people even understand what I'm saying? And then I was like listening to Rick Rubin's book recently, and I was like, fucking, this guy gets it. If this guy gets it, it's not like I'm not someone that doesn't really need outside validation to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm like too stupid and simple-minded and headstrong to like listen to other people very much. But when you hear someone as accomplished as him, and like that, like, you know, co-founder of Def Jam Records, I mean, I grew up on that shit, right? So like a huge inspiration to me, echo the discoveries that I've made. That's like, oh shit, okay, like that's cool that like a dude that I admire is on the same team. He's getting the same transmissions as I am. It is affirming, right? I just tell people, I try to describe my process as much as possible to people through the course of the workshop. I've been doing it for years, and I've gotten deeper into trying to communicate my process to people. And That's what it is, man. It's you have to. I've gotten before when I used to try to impose myself on the piece. Well, this is what I want it to be. It would be such a struggle in a wrestling match, and then, you know, I'd be like, ugh, this doesn't even look right. And it would be so frustrating. Now I'm never frustrated anymore when I work. Whether it's working or not, I'm just like, okay, just needs more time. Just needs to cook. Just needs to evolve. Just needs to marinate, you know? And again, why I like to take projects with a little longer time frame. I always try to expand the time frame a little bit when people kick it to me. I always try to get a little more money when people try to kick projects to me. Right? Because I'm worth it. Gosh darn it, I'm worth it. You know, I've proven it. I'm a proven commodity. I'm a proven winner. And every time that people let me do my thing, I got the touch of gold, right? At this point in my career, 10, when I'm figuring things out, the first 5 years, hit or miss, hit or miss, hit or miss, after that, if I'm really allowed to do my thing, I don't miss. I never miss. Because I'm living in the flow state. I've given over. I understand it's not about me. I am in service to the creative gods. So I let them lead the way. Right? I let them guide my hand. I let them put the visions in my mind and mix with my unique mythology. I mean, they created me in the first place. Everything is connected, right? This is all a big illusion. We are all part of this universal magic. Right? You got to embrace it. Don't try to understand it. The more you try to understand it, the less you're going to understand it. The Tao, baby. Y'all know about the Tao? The Tao Te Ching? Check it out. That book makes sense to me. It always did. I keep a copy in my backpack. And that paradoxical nature where to understand is to not even try to understand. To have something is to just let it go. Right? To understand something is to learn it and then never think about it again. To forget it. That's why I'm taking my mind out of it. I want to disappear, right? I want to forget that I exist. It's a form of meditation. The way I work is a form of meditation. I am forgetting everything else around me. I am dissolving into that paper. I am going into a creative space where only me and the work exist, like VR. And I'm in there and I'm just working on it, right? Often when I'm very deep in projects, I'm dreaming about those projects. When I was working so hard on the coloring book, I was every night dreaming of the coloring book, dreaming of being the drawings. Being the drawings and forming myself and reforming myself and looking for those breakthroughs in my dreams, because when you sleep, you are working on it. Right now that I understand that, I consciously set my mind to work when I'm sleeping. I go, okay, as I go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna work on this job that I have, this upcoming project. I'm gonna work on the different sketch ideas of this project. I'm gonna put my subconscious to work on it. Try it out. It works. And you will wake up with new knowledge. Right? When we sleep is, probably when we're most connected to the entire universe. You're the least distracted. Right? Your ears are always receiving, but, they're limiting the information. They're trying to, communicate to your conscious brain. Your eyes are closed. Your senses are at rest. And your subconscious is just churning, downloading, uploading. Right? We are antennas, we are batteries, we are, storage units. And it's a beautiful thing. And when you're in that zone, I was just telling Wolfie when I was driving into jiu-jitsu the other day, and I was like, man, I'm just so thankful, feeling so good to be back in this zone. When my dad died, 2 summers ago, it just took my soul out and tore it out. And took the foundation from my life, these pillars, and just one crumbled. And I was just like, and it's just like everything is sideways and you don't know which way is up and which way is down and what's dark and what's light. And everything is so bewildering. And I lost touch with the motivation, right? And I had to go away and just live in that space and feel it for a while. And it was excruciating. But I understand why now. It makes life more precious. It makes life more meaningful. At this, 43 years on the planet for me, getting around that halfway mark, that summer rooster age, as we say. You got spring chicken, you got summer rooster, you got fall turkey, you got, winter goose, winter goose, right? The goose is getting fat. So I'm firmly in that summer rooster phase of my life. Signs of summer rooster syndrome everywhere. That SRS is hitting me, baby. But at this point in my life, to have that turned on in me, that this doesn't last forever, that everything happens in an era, and if you don't take advantage of it at the time, it's gone. And you can have something else, but that is gone. Right? And I really, truly appreciate that in a different way, and seeing how it changes everything. Everything changes. Like, nothing ever stays the same. It changed me. It changed my mom. It changed my siblings. It changed my dad, right? He's changed into everything now, right? And again, paradoxically, when this was happening, when my dad was dying, I felt like he was gone and I was losing him. And now that he's gone, I feel like he's everywhere. I feel like he's with me all the time. Because I'm back, baby. I'm tapped back in. You got to connect, right? And there we go. There is another hearty breakfast for you. Breakfast, shrimp for breakfast, all right? Tune in tomorrow for another episode. Share it with a friend. Yee!